Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
If you are interested in supporting this podcast and at the same time getting all my episodes ad-free, then please head to my website, 3dprintingbasicspod.com. Again, that's 3dprintingbasicspod.com. There you can find all the links to support me, my affiliate links, and as a perk, you can get all my episodes ad-free if you subscribe on Patreon, Spotify, or Apple Music. Again, all my links will be there, as well as a contact form if you have any questions. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, and welcome back to 3D Printing Basics. This is episode number 53, and in this episode, we are going to be comparing some Core XY printers. We are going to be looking at the Prusa Core One. We are going to look at the Bambu Lab P1S, as well as the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. We are going to be comparing and contrasting all 3 printers and trying to find out which one might be the best one for your particular needs. Before we get into that, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support. I really appreciate everybody following and listening and sharing this podcast. It really means the world to me, and I hope we keep that up. Thank you very much, and with that being said, let's get right into the episode. So the first printer I'm going to start with, I'm going to be going from most expensive to least expensive. So the first printer that I want to talk about is the Prusa Research Core One XY 3D printer. And this printer, if you buy it as the kit, which it comes partially assembled, but you assemble the rest of it, it's $949 US. And if you buy it fully assembled, it is $1,200 US. Now, they do ship from the EU, so if you are in the United States, it's something to look out for. You are going to have to be paying quite a bit extra for shipping, so make sure you factor that into the price. But with that being said, the Prusa Core X1, I mean, it's a Prusa machine. You know what you're going to get. It's going to be fantastic build quality, and it's going to be a really well-working printer out of the box. They make all their parts, all their printers with metal, heavy metal. It's a heavy printer. It's going to be sturdy. You know they're going to use good quality materials, and that's kind of how they are able to get by with such a high price tag. Now, the question here is it worth the high price tag when there are other Core XY printers out there that are much, much less? But let's talk about some of the specs right now. So this machine markets itself as an all-in-one machine. It literally says in the blog article, you don't need one printer to do one thing, one printer to do another thing. This thing can do everything. And the very first feature that they advertise is the active temperature controlled chamber that can reach up to 55 degrees Celsius. Now, for somebody who is a beginning 3D printer and doesn't run a lot of high temperature materials like ASA, carbon fiber, nylon, anything like that, that's not going to be something that's extremely useful to you. But if you are looking to get into those materials, having an active heated chamber is actually really helpful, because those materials are super difficult to have good bed adhesion with, and if you have the active heated chamber, it keeps those printed parts partially melted and sticking to the bed and unable to warp until the entire print is finished, and then you can just pop it off the bed and everything is flat and the first layer is good and everything is nice. So that's a really good feature to have if you're looking to get into the higher end materials of 3D printing. And other than that, it markets itself pretty basically as a normal Core XY 3D printer. Some of the selling points are 10 minutes from unpacking to first print, the flawless precision, the maximum speed, the vibration dampening. It does have a build volume of 250 millimeters by 220 millimeters by 270 millimeters, which is pretty interesting dimensions. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong though, it is the same as the Prusa i3. Whereas the other two printers that we're going to be talking about today, they have the same exact build dimensions of 256 by 256 by 256 millimeters. So we are going to be looking at that a little bit later. But let's get back on the Prusa Core X1. My thoughts here, it's a Prusa machine, so like I said, you're going to get great build quality. They have a really good extruder system. They have the Galaxy extruder, and they have their own kind of line of nozzles that I really like. I had a Prusa MK4 for a little while, and I really enjoyed the print quality, and the hot end itself I think is the best hot end that I've ever worked with. The neck extruder, 360 degree cooling, able to print 75 degree overhangs. It's a really, really good filament extrusion system, and I really, really like it. And for me, the only thing that kind of holds me back here is the price tag. Prusa has the reputation, you're going to be getting a good printer, you're going to be getting quality prints. The question is it worth that price tag? And for me, in my opinion, no. I think that there are equally just as good printers out there for half the price that are just going to be good and are going to be up to par with the Prusa. I don't think that the Prusa Core One is going to offer as many features or twice as good of a print to justify twice the price tag. But like I said, that is only my opinion. Please do your own research and make sure that you make your own decisions and don't just rely on me to tell you what to get. And I just want to clarify, I'm not saying the Prusa Core One is a bad machine. I know it's a fantastic machine. I don't even need to own one to know that it's going to be a great machine. You're going to get great reliability from it. It's going to bang out dimensionally accurate, beautiful parts time and time again with little to no tuning and very minimal maintenance. The only reason that I would be against it would be solely for the price tag. But if price is not an issue with you, then I would go with the Prusa Core One because, like I said, they have that reputation of being a really good 3D printing company. They've been around for a long time. In my opinion, they have the best reputation out of all the 3D printing companies for turning out really high quality, good 3D printers. So that is something to consider. Like I said, please do your own research and make your decision for yourself. Are you looking for a reliable partner to handle your manufacturing needs? Look no further than Xometry, your one-stop shop for all things manufacturing. Whether you need CNC machining, 3D printing, injection molding, or sheet metal fabrication, Xometry has you covered. With a network of over 10,000 manufacturers, Xometry ensures that you get high-quality parts on time and within budget. Plus, their instant quoting engine makes it easy to get a price and lead time for your project. And the best part? Xometry offers a satisfaction guarantee. They stand by the quality of their work, so you can trust that your parts will meet your specifications. Whether you're a small-time hobbyist needing custom parts for your next project or an enthusiast looking for professional-grade manufacturing services, Xometry is the partner you can count on. Visit Xometry.com today and see how they can bring your ideas to life. That's Xometry.com. Xometry, transforming ideas into reality one part at a time. All right, moving on, let's talk about the middle pack in terms of price point from the Core XY 3D printers that I wanted to talk about, and that is the famous Bambu Labs P1S, not the X1 Carbon, but the P1S 3D printer. And this printer, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of it. Call me biased, call me not biased, but I think it's the best printer on the market today in terms of price point and what you get for your money. I have 4 of these guys, and every single one of them has been working fantastically. They churn out very high quality, very dimensionally accurate prints for well over a year now, for some of them even 2 years, and I'm still very, very happy with them. The Bambu Lab P1S comes at a price point of $630. There's no kit or fully assembled. You get it fully assembled right out of the box. There's no options there. And you can upgrade it. You can get a P1S combo, which just adds the automatic material system, which enables you to print in multiple different colors or multiple different materials. And that is going to be $829 US. And the specs for the Bambu Lab P1S printer, like I said, it has a 256 by 256 by 256 millimeter build volume. It advertises pretty much all the same things that all the other Core XY printers offer: the vibration cancellation, the unbelievably fast printing, plug and play in less than 15 minutes, and the super nice build quality and the built-in camera. Now, something I will say about the camera on the P1S is it's not really a camera. It's more like a stop motion camera. It takes pictures maybe every second or every half a second and sends that back to you. It's enough to get you what you need, but it's not something that like you're going to be able to post on social media and have a super crisp video. It's good for time lapses. It's really good for time lapses, but for a live feed, it's basically just for checking to make sure your print hasn't completely failed, which really, to be fair, is all you need to do. You don't need a super high quality 4K camera to be able to check on your prints, but that is just something to note if that's something that might concern you. Now, the thing that I believe sets this printer apart from others is the automatic material system. As far as I know, the Prusa Core One has not made any announcements. I know that they most likely work with the MMU systems for Prusa, which allows you to print multiple colors. The Bambu Labs have their AMS, which is the most famous and probably the most used multi-material system. And the last printer I'm going to talk about is announcing their multi-material system. They said in Q3 of 2025. But the AMS is something that I've used. Every single one of my, I believe, 10 Bambu Lab printers has an AMS unit attached to it. I've had no problems with any of them. They all seamlessly work really well out of the box and give me the multicolor prints that I'm looking for very easily and with no hassle at all. And that's what I believe sets this printer apart, because the ability to print in multiple colors without having to stand by and change things out or have any issues, it's just really nice and really convenient. As someone who runs a 3D printing business, multicolor prints that have multiple colors onto them, they sell a lot better, they look a lot cleaner, and they're a lot easier than having to print a part, having to process it, maybe paint it to get that kind of effect. To be able to do that right off the printer is something that is really, really nice, and a really nice feature that this printer and Bambu Labs has been able to offer. And I think they kind of revolutionized the market. Before Bambu Labs came around, the only kind of multi-material system that I had really heard of would be the MMU system from Prusa. And I got, full disclosure, I am not the most tech person in the world. I do not like building printers. I did not like it when I got the MK3 kit. That is not the fault to Prusa at all. That is simply me not liking to build these printers. But I got an MMU and I never built it because there was a lot going on and I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So being able to buy an AMS system and it's just plug and play right out of the box is something that's a huge deal for me and something that I really liked about the Bambu Labs printers. But with that being said, I don't want to make it seem like I'm knocking Prusa at all. I love Prusa. I think they're a fantastic company, and I think Prusa and Bambu Labs are kind of the 1-2 punch right now in the 3D printing industry, especially when it comes to making printers that are available for hobbyists to use. Another note that I wanted to say before I moved on to the next one is I'm not going to discuss the slicing softwares for either of these printers, mostly because I haven't used Prusa Slicer in a long time, even though I know it's a really good software, and I don't want to seem biased towards Bambu Studio because I use that all the time. And as far as the next printer I'm going to talk about, I have never used their slicing software. So like I said, I don't want to talk about it while being uneducated. So I'm just going to say I'm not going to mention that, but for that, you're going to have to do your own research. And I do know that each slicing software is compatible with either printer. So if you have Prusa Slicer, you can use it on the Bambu Labs printer. If you have Bambu Labs printer, if you have Bambu Studio, then you can use it on this next printer that I'm going to talk about. They all work interchangeably with each other. So for me, I see that as not being a huge deal. So the last printer that I wanted to talk about today is kind of the unknown out of the three printers, and that's the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. This printer technically is only available for pre-order right now, but it has been extremely hyped up in the 3D printing world, and the announcement went viral. It's already becoming a very popular printer. You already see some YouTubers coming out with reviews, and it's just an interesting printer that I wanted to talk about. And I think the biggest selling point for this and for most Elegoo printers is the price point. This basically looks like your normal Core Core XY 3D printer, but it's only $300. And that's for the Centauri Carbon. If you wanted to get just the Centauri by itself, I'm not sure what the differences are. It just looks like it's kind of similar to the P1S and P1P in that it's not enclosed. That's only $200. And my question is like, how did they do this? How did you create basically a Core XY 3D printer and you're able to sell it for only $200? It has the same 256 by 256 by 256 build volume that the Bambu Labs has. It looks like it has a touch screen. It looks like I said, they are going to have a multi-material system coming, they said Q3 of 2025. But it looks almost exactly the same as the Bambu Labs printer. They're marketing it as all the same thing. It's got the automatic bed leveling, multicolor 3D printing, the vibration canceling, the fast speeds, the metal design, all that stuff. But I'm just confused. I don't understand how they're able to have it priced so much less. And this is a printer that I'm really interested in, because if they can get something that's even 75% as good as a Bambu Labs 3D printer, in my opinion, it's going to be worth it. Because if you get something for $300 that works almost as well as a Bambu Labs 3D printer does, I mean, that's worth it. It's half the price, 75% is good. For me, the math just checks out there. So that's something that we are going to have to wait and see. I know that there are some YouTubers coming out with some reviews on it right now, but that's just something I think I'm going to try and pre-order one, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll make an episode about it. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I will be more than happy to be the guinea pig for you guys and get this machine and kind of test it out and see what it does. But this is just something that is really interesting to me, because if Elegoo can kind of create a price war with Bambu Labs and Prusa Research by offering something so cheap, that works out for the hobbyists, because that means Bambu Labs going to have to drop their price, Prusa's going to have to drop their price, and therefore the buyers benefit from that. So that's something that we just kind of got to wait and see. I think all three of these printers have their own benefits. They have their own abilities, and they're very similar machines, but everyone's just a little bit different from the way that they're made, from the features that they offer, from the build volumes. So you're just going to have to do your own research and make your own decision. Again, please don't use me as your end-all, be-all source of knowledge. I do make this podcast because I want to educate 3D printers, especially people who are just getting into the space, but please don't use me as your final sort of knowledge. You do your own research and make your own decisions here. But all three of these printers I think are very, very useful. I think if the choice was up to me, I'm still going to be going with the Bambu Labs printer. That's just my personal opinion. But if this Elegoo printer comes out and turns out to be really, really good, then I might lean towards that just for cost's sake, especially with somebody who's running a print farm and is looking to expand and get 20 or 30 printers. Obviously, I would love to save some money if these printers are just as good as the Bambu Labs printers. But with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you learned something, and I'll make sure to drop links for each printer in the description so you can check them out for yourself. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.